Bruce Lee was a Chinese American, and that was by virtue of the fact that he was born in 1940 in San Francisco. The reason he was born in San Francisco is that his father, Lei Hoi-chun, was a rather celebrated star of Cantonese opera. And in 1940, he was doing a tour together with his wife, a Eurasian woman called Grace Ho, of American Chinatowns, which at that time anyway, by far the biggest was the one in San Francisco. So we have this baby. He's not the eldest in the family. There are other children who I think have been left behind in Hong Kong during this tour, who is born in a hospital in San Francisco. He's given the name Li Junfan, Lei Junfan. The surname Li is actually pronounced Lei in Cantonese. So Lei Junfan, and the word, the rumor is, or the official word that's been handed down, is that a doctor in the hospital, an American doctor in the hospital, gave him the English name Bruce, so right at the outset. The common Chinese name that he used until his death, from at least 1950 onwards, until his death 23 years later, was in Mandarin Li Xiaolong, Little Dragon Li, in Cantonese Lei Xiulong. And Lei Xiulong was a kind of stage name, if you like, or a film name, because even on his earliest films, that is how he is billed. And it came from the fact that he was born in a dragon year. 1940 was a dragon year, and he was born in the dragon month late in the year, so he was a double dragon in that sense, and it made complete sense for this nickname to be given to him. And the family, after completing the tour and after his birth, takes the boat back, and he grows up in Hong Kong. The family, I believe, at that time already lived in the Kowloon Tong district. And he started going to school in Hong Kong, and he started acting in movies, just bit parts to begin with, in 1946, so at the age of about 6. Just little parts, really. But in any event, what's clear is that it was his father, Lei Hoi-chun, who brought him into film. So, you have a situation where Hong Kong is a sleepy colonial port, which has a nascent film industry. It's trying to pick up the pieces after the Japanese occupation. Hong Kong fell to the Japanese in Christmas 1941, so not that long after they got back from the American trip. And it was ruled fairly brutally, by all accounts, by the Japanese until, of course, the defeat after Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. And if you look at the films that the young Bruce Lee appeared in, and there were quite a lot, if you look at them from 1950 through to about 1959, what you see is a very rapid evolution in the Cantonese film industry. The earliest film, 1950, is pretty primitive technique, and again, if you look at films from 53, 55, you start to see rapid increases in sophistication. You see a much more considered mise-en-scène, even when the same elements are deployed. I mean, in many of these films, Bruce Lee plays an orphan or a troubled child, a child who is batted around from one parent to another surrogate parent and another surrogate parent. This kind of plot is recurrent. There are all the melodramatic contrivances of this genre are present and correct, but they're treated with markedly different levels of sophistication from film to film as the years pass. So by the time you get to the mid-50s, this kind of motif, this kind of character, which is an absolute staple of the melodrama genre in Hong Kong Cantonese cinema, is becoming noticeably more grown up, more sophisticated, more plausible, and a bit, it has to be said, a bit more interesting cinema. And we can look at those briefly, just to get some sense of who Bruce Lee was. My son Achan. It's also known as The Kid in some sources. It was directed in 1950 by a director called Fong Fong. But it's notable